Hello, I'm recording. I am at St. Emma's Monastery in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, and I'm feeling ambivalent. I've been, just the idea was to come here and pray and get quiet and read Moments of Light by this guy, Fred Chappell. But I had a powerful experience of isolation and loneliness today. Trying to be at a monastery and just feeling so isolated. It's a existential sort of feeling that I haven't had in quite a while. One second. I'm going to get a little personal here. I'll bring this laptop with me into the bathroom while I take a leak. Whew. What do I want to say? There's this concept now of social media schizophrenia. I forget what the buzz word kind of term for it is, but basically that the idea that when you're communicating online, you are always speaking to a multitude of audiences, and it leads to a kind of fracturing of the self because it's never quite clear who you're talking to. You're kind of talking to everybody and nobody at the same time, which is why I've enjoyed Paul Talk so much. You're listening, and I've tried to cotton on to any kind of thread, lend coherence to this. Down the drain. Anyway, I'd say demos. I've been having some anxiety, some difficulty, some pain. And so I thought I'd retreat here for the weekend. It's about $100 a night, but you only have to pay it if you want to, which I don't really. So I think I'll just do this scot free. But the West is what we're interested in, and what it means to live here now. Me being me, you being you. I'm okay, you're okay. Josh is okay, that's for sure. He's in cursive, are you? I'm not in cursive, but Josh is. So I retreated from my retreat to go to town. I walked about 2.5 miles to buy wine, liquor, and cigarettes, like some kind of cliche, like I'm living some kind of Houellebecq novel. Michel Houellebecq, who wrote Serotonin, which I just read. Yeah. Yeah, I went through a coding boot camp, and there's a guy there I considered my nemesis. I'll just say his name was Xavier. And he said that when you're on a Skype video interview with people, you should look at the webcam. You should look at that little green dot and pretend that that is your interlocutor. So right now I'm looking at that little green dot and pretending that that is my interlocutor, that laser beam of annihilation. But there's no hope really of this being coherent, so I'm just going to try to get on with it and get something out and contain it to 15 minutes or less. And in view of the fact that my main real interlocutor is going to be. And let's try to let's try to cut the deck. Let's try to lessen my burden here. You know, this schizophrenic, digital schizophrenia that I'm experiencing, where I'm considering everyone and all. In reality, who's going to be listening to this? Paul Talk and maybe my friend Charlie, a lawyer from Washington D.C. who whatever. So let me just pretend that I'm talking to those two people, and maybe James, my other friend. My other friend. So self-pitying. My. I wrote a short story with James today about three brothers, Aiden, Braden, and Raiden, and they were all going to be losing their virginity to three corresponding women in skin-tight green dresses with question marks on them, called Luau, Bluau, and Ruau. No, not even. But really, I had the idea of making a video when I was walking around today. And I had the experience I've had before of thinking, all these businesses, when you're walking on foot in America, you're walking on foot. You don't have a car in America. It's like you're not even a human being. You know, this is an automobile country, and it's so it's such an important thing to notice and such a nothing thing to notice at the same time. But the reason why metropolitan areas have such prestige and such cultural cachet, despite the fact that there are havens for liberal wrong think and I don't know globo homo gayness, is that you can traverse them on foot or by public transportation. But in the rest of America at large, if you're in a place like this in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, and if you don't have a car, if you're walking down whatever it was, Route 119 on foot, you're going alongside some country club and making your way to a gas station, to a Sheetz. You can get a half a dozen chicken wings and a Pabst Blue Ribbon. You feel like such an alien, like such a total piece of lint, just existentially. That's the experience. You're out there. You're like you're just a bump in a log. You're a crater on a moon face. I actually tried to thumb a ride briefly. I'm like, people still do that. Big, hulking pickup just passed me by. Eventually, on my way back, I caved in and I got a Uber. I pulled up my smartphone. I was at 14% battery. I thought, whatever. I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm just gonna do the modern thing. I'm tired. I've got a cough. I'm trying to be pious. I'm trying to pray with these they're not cloistered, these nuns, these Benedictine nuns. I got an Uber. I got some guy listening to the Foo Fighters. That's the reality. Listening to 90s hits on repeat. Saw people with few teeth. People with, missing teeth, missing front teeth. It's just weird. It's like because you have this, you have the sort of the Los Angeles version of what things are that you received maybe through childhood, through popular media, less and less as time goes on. but still, it kind of stands there, even if it's waning. This sort of popular vision of what humanity is. This Los Angeles Plays Itself, if you're familiar with that documentary on YouTube version of things. And then you get down there and you see it's just chiropractic practice and Asian massage parlor, one after the other. Like every, this is kind of what I want to say, that every single business, 99 point whatever business, is focused on relieving pain, on managing pain, and it's like chiropractic places, massage places, drug places. Some, just a huge proportion of businesses in America are this sort of alleviating anxiety and pain. And we insulate ourselves, because we drive in these cars. We cruise around in these vehicles and these hulking pickups and SUVs, and we're insulating ourselves with the Foo Fighters. Ridiculous. And you come, I come, try to relieve myself, try to stay at a place like St. Emma, some Benedictine nuns, but maybe it's my problem. I'm not pure enough. I can't handle the purity of silence, the being with oneself in silence. You inevitably start to scratch, start to moan, and start to yearn for the world outside you. And you walk 2.5 miles to town and you encounter this gas station palliative reality. And it's just oh so dystopian. The whole thing is just oh so dystopian. It's so oh so unreal. Like but like the Matrix, right? Like the red pill, blue pill thing. That whole verbal paradigm is based on Jean Baudrillard, whose idea, the desert of the real, the facsimile replacing the reality, and how the Matrix really got that wrong because in the Wachowski brothers movie, the real and the unreal are presented as two things, and you can translate yourself between them. But that's inaccurate in correspondence to what the Baudrillardian idea is of, well, that let me try to sum up this video in a second, but that slogans, ideas, logos, images, primarily images, because Paul Talk, it's Paul Talk, if you're listening, and anybody who's not, this YouTuber Paul Talk, he's an artist, visual artist, painter, and a commentator on politics and everything. Just makes me this whole experience of walking into town from this monastery and seeing all these signs, even a relatively short kind of respite from it all, and then just going back into it in a place I'm not familiar with, and seeing signs, and because I think we numb ourselves to it. I think if you live in a particular place, you get used to it, and all the sort of the warts and the pimples, and you train yourself to become blind to it. But if you come to a new place, it's more apparent. The reality is bald bare. It's just this kind of groaning pain of the world that it wants to be seen. It's just screaming. The world's just screaming. The world is just screaming in pain. You know, that's the reality. And in America, the world is screaming in pain in its own special way because we've got this kind of capitalist thing to the nines, or what have you, this gas station universe, this interstate connected place with telephone wires going every which way. And just the ugliness of it all is overwhelming. It's totally overwhelming. Like if you get drunk, or if you just get used to it, maybe you don't notice, you don't care. But if you're there in it, if you're walking through it, if you're trying to, if you have no car, if you have no car, and you're trying to buy a six pack, something just so terrible about it. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what else to say really. I'm just kind of unraveling really. Got a text from a friend. What to say? What to say? Maybe I'll give this guy a call soon. Anyway, this video hasn't been very coherent really, but maybe it'll be of interest. If I have any thoughts that feel like this will wrap, then we'll wrap this up. I'll post it as a sequel. Peace.